Hello everyone, my name is Schoen. I'm an Earth and Space Science teacher here at Geneva High School. I just wanted to introduce myself and what I do in the class to give you a better sense of how things operate here in science. First, I want to start with why I teach. I teach because I love working with people. I like working with groups to accomplish something great. I love the outdoors and I love science, so the physical sciences is a great choice for me, and teaching is a great choice for me. So I teach earth science, astronomy, and natural disasters, and I have for the last 20 years. This is my 20th year teaching here. And I look forward to taking you through now just a tour of my classroom really quick, and then showing you what some of the major things I do in my class with Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom. All right, everyone, I wanted to give you a quick shot of what your students see when they come in every day. They see a nice welcome sign for Mr. Shane in H203. Come in and see a nice picture of the United States there, some of my Frisbees and so forth. Here's our end of class cleaning utensils. We actually did set up for a lab today that I was able to pull off, that keeping everybody 6 feet apart and getting out and doing some things hands-on. And the rest of the classroom here spaced out with a nice window view and look at the front of the room as well. So thanks for joining me again in my classroom, and let's go to my desktop. All right, everybody, here's my desktop, and I just wanted to go through a few things about what we're covering in each class and just show you where information is in each of my classes. So when students open up Microsoft Teams, this is what they come to, their homepage with all their classes, and I have all the classes that I teach here. When your son or daughter clicks on their class, they'll come to the general feed where they're going to find posts on the different assignments. They can also access the assignments through the Assignments tab here. And that gives a list of assignments that are given. Typically, most of my assignments are on paper, but I sometimes will assign them on the computer, and if so, they'll be through Microsoft Teams. Also then here, there is you can click up here for files, and I give them copies of all of my notes and slides that I go through in each of the units. For example, here's our maps unit coming up, and there'll be notes on cartography, coordinates, topographic maps, and the notes and slides are found there. I also, of course, have the Earth Science calendar. So when you click on that, you will pull up the actual Earth Science calendar. It's not working here. Let's try that again. Go to Files. And there's my Earth Science calendar, where if they miss anything, they can kind of come back here and see what we're doing each of the different days throughout our unit. And you can see that's all listed out here. So when we come back, for example, after Labor Day, we're going to be studying and taking a quiz in Earth Science. So that's where you find all the material for any one of the classes. I did want to talk briefly too about what we're covering in each class. In my astronomy class here, we'll be covering a look at the sky. We'll be looking at the history of astronomy. We'll go into planetary science. We'll look at light and telescopes, stars and galaxies. So a good slate of information here for the semester in astronomy. In natural disasters, we will be covering generally what disasters are, defining hazards, looking at disaster trends, talking about risk. We go into how the Earth was formed to gain a knowledge of the energy within the Earth, and we talk a little bit about radioactive decay and tidal forces and so forth. We go into plate tectonics, and then that launches us into earthquakes and volcanoes, and we talk about landslides. Further on in the semester, we talk about the meteorological hazards, including climate change, the atmosphere in general, and then we look at things like thunderstorms and tornadoes and hurricanes and floods. And then in my Earth Science classes, we talk a lot about geology to start things with. We, of course, introduce Earth science here. We look at maps and topography, looking at the Earth and the place in the universe and how it formed, getting into plate tectonics and earthquakes and volcanoes, minerals and rocks toward the end of this first semester. The second semester, we look at what we can find from the rocks and learn from the rocks, be it resources or the history of the Earth. We look at how the rocks break down to form precious soils, which are a great resource for us. We look at Earth's fresh water, including rivers, groundwater, and glaciers. We do meteorology in April and astronomy in May in Earth Science. So that's it. That's a look at what we are doing, where students can find and access information here on Microsoft Teams, where they can find copies of my notes here primarily. And if we ever have to go online, this is what we'll use to meet in Microsoft Teams. We looked at the calendars to see what you can see in each one of the classes. And then we also talked about here what we've covered and what we're covering in our different classes. So thanks for joining me with the desktop. Well, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for joining me today. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to email me and ask. And I always encourage your son or daughter to email and ask questions. I can set up a Microsoft Teams meet, and of course I can meet with them here in the classroom. So thanks again, and have a great day.